Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode with Ralph. Hope you're fine, dear lovely iELTS candidates. Well, today we're going to cover another question type in academic reading, and today's focus is on yes, no, not given question types, and we'll learn how to answer this question type in academic reading. So, first of all, let's take a look at sample question. Let's see what type of question it is. As you can see, this is a type of yes, no, not given, or true, false, not given question type. And you should remember that this type of question is always in order. It goes in order, so it is easy to do. But some questions can be tricky, especially questions which the answer is not given. So we'll work on strategies to answer these questions. And first of all, remember that you should do these questions before the difficult out of order questions, right? And each question is formed from only 1 to 2 sentences in the reading passage, all right? And you must compare 2 sentences, the question and the matching sentence from the passage, all right? And the key feature here is you must be able to scan for keywords, right? And understand synonym language, right? And remember something important, that it's a very common question. And it makes up about 20% of your reading test questions. So knowing how to answer this type of question would save you around, let's say, 10 or maybe 12 or 13 questions, right? So if you can answer, so you will know that you can cover 12 or 13 questions, or sometimes 15 questions in 3 passages consist of yes, no, not given questions. All right, there are 5 basic strategies that you have to follow. The first one is you underline or circle keywords, right? The names, places, numbers, right, in the question. And then you identify the easy questions to do them first, right? So it is pretty easy. You first check out which questions, right, consist of the easiest keywords. So you start with answering those questions first. And then you scan passages to find those keywords and synonyms, right? So you mark keywords in the matching sentence, and then you compare the 2 sentences, the question and the matching sentence, to find the answer. And then you write the question number next to the matching sentence in the passage. Now, how to compare sentences, which is very important, right? So, first of all, remember that you compare 2 sentences by examining the parts of speech. By this, I mean noun, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, and pay a lot of attention to the use of extreme words. For example, always, never, only, all, every, if they are present in the question. These extreme words are very important, all right? Now, if the parts of speech and extreme words, if they are present, are the same, then the answer is yes or true. If parts of speech or extreme words are different, for example, if in the text there is some and in the question there is all, so in this case the answer is no or false, and if parts of speech or extreme words are missing, then the answer is not given, all right? This is how you can compare sentences in the question and in the text. Now, let's start working on 3 questions. All right. Now, first, let's check out the questions here. Question number 9, 10, and 11. Now, first, we read the questions first, and we try to find the easiest keywords. Number 9, the metal used in the float process had to have specific properties. Here, there aren't any, let's say, easy keywords. So we read number 10. Number 10, Pilkington invested some of his own money in his float plant. So Pilkington, because it's the name, specific name, and it's the easiest keyword, so we should start answering number 10 first. Now let's read number 11. Pilkington's first full-scale plant was an instant commercial success. Now, Pilkington again here is repeated, so these are our two easiest keywords here. So we have to answer number 10 first, and then number 11, and then number 9. All right. So in the text, first of all, we have to find Pilkington. And number 10, invested. Invested is, again, because it is related to money, we have to find something that is related to the money. If the word invested is not repeated in the text, we have to find synonym language. All right. And also money. Invested some of his own money in his float plant. Now, in finding the name Pilkington, we come across this paragraph, as you can see. Pilkington built a pilot plant in 1953, and by 1955, he had convinced his company to build a full-scale plant. All right, now we haven't yet found anything related to money. We have to go on reading. However, it took 14 months of non-stop production, costing the company £100,000 a month before the plant produced by usable glass. So we have the money, we have the costing the company, how much the did cost the company, all right, and that was £100,000 a month. But we do not have anything related to Pilkington, who invested some of his own money to build the float plant, all right, because the parts of speech or extreme words are missing here, then the answer here is not given. All right. We do not have any idea related to Pilkington's investment on building the float plant, right? So the answer here is not given. Now let's turn on to our next question, which is question number 11. Pilkington's first full-scale plant was an instant commercial success. So when we read number 10, we found full-scale plant, as you can see in paragraph 2, right? Now, we have to find something about success. Was that an instant commercial success or not? So we go on, we continue reading where we left, all right? Furthermore, once they succeeded in making marketable flat glass, the machine was turned off for service to prepare it for years to continuous production. Let's read again. Furthermore, once they succeeded in making marketable flat glass, the machine was turned off for a service to prepare it for years to continuous production. When it started up again, it took another 4 months to get the process right again. Now, the matching sentence here is from furthermore up to production, continuous production. Now, we have found the answer here. Now, what do we need to do is to read the question again. Pilkington's first is very important. First full-scale plant was an instant commercial success. Was it instant? Just right away it was successful. Now let's read the text again. Furthermore, once they succeeded in making marketable flat glass, the machine was turned off for service. So there was something wrong with the service. So that was not, let's say, an instant commercial success, right? And it took years for continuous production. So because the parts of a speech or extreme words that we are having here are different, because that was not instant, because it took years to continue its production, so that was false, right? That was not instant commercial success, right? So the answer is false or no. All right, now we have spotted the number of paragraph here. We know that question number 10 was in this paragraph. So we're pretty sure that the answer for question number 9 is the paragraph before this paragraph. And since we do not have a very easy keyword, we have to, let's say, make do with some keywords we have here in question number 9. Let's read number 9 again. The metal used in the float process had to have specific properties. So metal and process are our keywords here, and of course specific properties. So we have to find metal, the word metal in the text. So we come across with this paragraph in which metal and process are repeated twice. All right. As you can see, the first sentence is process, the second sentence is process, the fifth sentence and sixth metal are used and repeated. All right. So let's take a look at sixth line. The metal had to melt at temperature less than the hardening point of glass. Right. Now let's read this sentence because we have the word metal here. The metal had to melt at temperature less than the hardening point of glass, about 600 degrees Celsius, but could not boil at a temperature below the temperature of the molten glass, about 1500 degrees Celsius. So we have kind of found the answer, but we're not sure. Let's read the question again. The metal used in the float process had to have specific properties. All right, this information included here about the point of glass, hardening point of glass, is that specific or not? We have to read this sentence again. The metal had to melt at temperature less than the hardening point of glass. So that was less than, about 600 degrees, but could not boil at a temperature below the temperature of the molten glass. So the idea that we have here, the information that's included here, shows that this process, right, has specific properties or specific features, right, that is kind of not let's say something that is very common among other glasses, right, or other metals. So it shows that it should have specific properties. So, in the article, in the text, it is not directly mentioned that these are, let's say, specific properties. The author has kind of shown, has kind of described indirectly that these are kind of specific properties of this class. So we infer from the text that, all right, these features are kind of specific. Sometimes in the text, it is not directly mentioned that this point is this, right? It is you have to infer from the things that are mentioned in the text that, all right, these are specific properties of the glass here. So beware of this trick that is very, very challenging and sometimes tricky. And authors try to, challenge you by making sentences like this and also questions. So beware of this technique and strategy. All right, so the answer for this question is yes or true. So that's all for today. You got to know how to answer and how to use some strategies in order to answer questions, question types of yes, no, not given, or true, false, not given. What I do suggest, most of the time I suggest my students do, is that try to answer as many questions as possible. There are so many questions that you can easily find on the net, yes, no, not given. So try to, put to use these techniques and the strategies that you learned today. So in this case, you will be able to answer in less than 1 minute, right? And spot the paragraph or locate the paragraph in the text, all right? So these are basic strategies or, techniques that can help you find the answer as easy as possible, right? Now, we're done here, guys. Our next session will be about multiple choice question types. And again, we'll work on some strategies in order to find the answer as easily as we can. So until next time, enjoy your time, stay tuned, and goodbye.